When police arrived after the robbery attempt, an old badge that fell from Sam's pocket shocked everyone. Navy SEAL Special Forces emblem with DEVGRU written on it. The unofficial name of SEAL Team 6. The beloved cafe owner of the small town was actually a former member of America's most elite Special Forces unit. Welcome to Veterans Untold Stories. Before we begin this powerful story, tell us which city you're watching from in the comments. And if you believe untold veteran stories deserve to be brought to light, hit that subscribe button. These stories deserve to be remembered. Millfield, Montana was a small town with a population of 2,847. On Main Street, there was only one grocery store, one barbershop, one pharmacy, and Sam's Cafe. Although this cafe had been open since 1952, the current owner, Sam Rodriguez, had only been running it for the past 25 years. He was 65 years old, medium height, gray-bearded, always wearing clean shirts and smiling warmly at his customers. Sam's Cafe was like the heart of the town. It opened every morning at 5:30 a.m. and closed at 7 p.m. Inside were 6 tables, 12 chairs, an old coffee machine, and Montana landscape photos on the walls. The decoration was simple but warm. Customers felt at home. Everyone who knew Sam loved him. Retired teacher Margaret, who came for morning coffee, farmers who negotiated in the afternoon, young people who chatted in the evening, they all trusted Sam. He knew everyone by name, asked about their families, listened to their troubles. No one asked where he came from, why he settled in Millfield. In such small towns, the past isn't questioned, only today matters. Sam's daily routine was always the same. He would come to his cafe at 5 a.m., prepare the interior, start the coffee machine, make fresh pastries. The first customers would arrive at 6 a.m., usually townspeople going to work. Sam would serve them coffee while reading their daily newspapers, chat, and wish them good morning. During lunch hours, the cafe would be quieter. Sam would spend this time preparing food in the kitchen, getting sandwich ingredients ready for the afternoon. In the evening hours, young couples, retirees, and families on weekend vacation would come. Sam had never married, never talked about his family. He lived alone in the small apartment above the cafe. His hobby was reading books, taking nature walks on weekends. His social life was limited to his customers, but this was enough for him. The townspeople never wondered about Sam's past. For them, he was just a reliable, honest, hard-working businessman. For 25 years, he had never fought with anyone, never caused problems, always ready to help. Even in Montana's harsh winter conditions, he kept his cafe open, bringing town residents together in a warm environment. That Tuesday morning, everything was normal. On the cold morning of April, Sam had opened his cafe at 5:30 a.m. as usual. The first customers had started arriving. Daily routines had begun. At 8:15 a.m., there were 5 customers inside. Retired teacher Margaret Thompson, farmer Bill Watson, young mother Lisa Parker, town council member Tom Anderson, and high school student Kevin Miller. Sam was smiling while serving coffee, chatting with his customers. Weather, local news, everyday topics. Everything seemed calm and normal. At exactly 8:23 a.m., the cafe door opened violently. 2 armed men entered. The first was about 25 years old, in a black coat, face masked. The second was in his 30s, jeans and hooded sweatshirt. Both had guns in their hands. "Everyone down!" shouted the first robber. "Hands up! Nobody move!" The customers in the cafe fell to the ground in panic. Margaret screamed. Bill raised his hands. Lisa tried to protect her daughter. Tom and Kevin froze. But Sam didn't panic at all. He just slowly raised his hands and said calmly, "Okay, boys. What do you want?" The second robber approached the register. "Give us all the money. Be quick." Sam didn't rush at all. "Of course," he said, calmly. "The register's here." He moved toward the register with slow movements. The first robber was controlling the customers. "Nobody moves. Take out your phones. Throw them on the ground." While Sam was opening the register, he was observing the surroundings. 2 robbers, 2 guns, 6 civilians. Door open, back exit through the kitchen. First robber, inexperienced, hands shaking. Second one calmer, but focused on the money. "Hurry up, old man," shouted the second robber. Sam took out the money from the register. There was about $300. "Here, that's all," he said. "That's it? There should be more." "Small cafe," said Sam. "There's no more." The second robber was getting angry. "You must be hiding it somewhere else." "Where?" Sam shook his head. "Really, that's all." That's when the first robber got distracted. He started shouting at customers, "Take out your wallets. All of you." This was the opportunity for Sam. The reflexes he had learned years ago kicked in. In 3 steps, he approached the second robber, pushed his gun upward with his left hand, twisted the man's wrist with his right hand, making him drop the gun. In 1 second, he grabbed him by the neck and brought him to the ground. Before the first robber understood what happened, Sam turned to him. "Drop the gun," he gave a stern command. His voice was no longer the friendly cafe owner Sam, but an authority-carrying commander. The young robber dropped his gun in shock. Sam neutralized him too, twisting his arm behind his back and laying him on the ground. The entire operation took 15 seconds. Everyone in the cafe was looking at Sam in shock. The old man who had just been serving coffee and smiling had neutralized 2 armed robbers like a professional soldier. "Everyone stay calm," said Sam, his breathing still normal. "The danger is over. Tom, call the police." Tom Anderson took out his phone with shaking hands and called 911. Police arrived in 12 minutes. Since Millfield was a small town, there were only 2 police officers, Sheriff Mike Carter and his deputy Sarah Johnson. Both had known Sam for 25 years. When Sheriff Carter entered the cafe, the scene was surprising. 2 robbers handcuffed, sitting on the ground. Sam was serving coffee to his customers with his normal attitude, as if nothing had happened. "Sam," said Sheriff Carter, "what happened here?" "Robbery attempt," said Sam simply. "These 2 young men wanted to take the money. I prevented them." "How did you prevent them?" Sam shrugged. "I convinced them." But the customers were telling it differently. Margaret Thompson excitedly. Sam was incredible. He moved like in action movies. He neutralized both of them in 2 seconds. Sheriff Carter looked at Sam suspiciously. How had the calm cafe owner he had known for 25 years subdued 2 armed robbers? Sam spoke very simply while giving his statement. He only told the necessary details: how the robbers entered, what they wanted, how he intervened. But he didn't go into technical details. Deputy Johnson asked, "Sam, where did you learn these moves?" Sam hesitated for a moment. "I did some sports in my youth." "What kind of sports?" "Martial arts." But Sheriff Carter wasn't convinced. His 35 years of police experience told him these moves weren't just martial arts. This required professional military training. While taking the robbers to the station, the first robber, Jason Bradley, said, "That man isn't normal. He was like a Special Forces soldier. We didn't have a chance." This comment increased Sheriff Carter's suspicions. The next day, Sheriff Carter visited Sam again. The cafe had normalized. Customers continued coming. but everyone was looking at Sam with different eyes. "Sam," said Sheriff Carter, "we need to talk." Sam smiled. "Of course, Mike. Do you want coffee?" They sat at an empty table. Sheriff Carter asked directly, "Who are you, really, Sam?" Sam remained silent for a long time. Then he sighed. "Why are you asking?" "Because what I saw yesterday wasn't normal. These moves are the kind only someone with special training could do." Sam sipped his coffee. "Mike, some stories should stay in the past. But the townspeople should know who you are. Are you dangerous to them?" Sam shook his head. "Never. This town is my home. These people are my family." "What about your previous life?" Sam thought. It was time to reveal the identity he had hidden for 25 years. "I'm a former soldier, Mike. Long ago, I served in very distant places." "Which unit?" Sam reached into his pocket and took out an old badge. On the metal surface was the Navy SEAL Special Forces emblem, three-pronged anchor, eagle, and naval sword. Below it said, DEVGRU. Sheriff Carter's eyes widened. This is SEAL Team 6? Sam nodded. 1985 to 2010. 25 years active duty. Sheriff Carter was in shock. SEAL Team 6 was America's most elite special forces unit. Only a few hundred people in the world had served in this unit. "Why did you come here?" Sam looked out the window. "When I retired, I sought peace. I couldn't find it in big cities. Small towns had always appealed to me. I came to Millfield, liked it, decided to stay. Nobody knew for 25 years. They didn't need to know. I just wanted to make coffee, serve people. War stayed in the past." Sheriff Carter was thinking. "But the skills you showed yesterday?" "Muscle memory," said Sam. "Some things are never forgotten. In danger, the body automatically reacts." "So what happens now?" Sam smiled. "Nothing changes. I'm still Sam. You're still my customers. Just now some of you know a little more." The news spread slowly around town. It was learned that Sam was a former SEAL Team 6 member, but the townspeople's reaction was surprising. Nobody was scared. Nobody was worried. On the contrary, they had more respect for Sam. Margaret Thompson said, "I've known Sam for 25 years. He's a good person. His past doesn't change that." Farmer Bill Watson added, "The man saved our lives. We can't thank him enough." But there were changes too. Now Sam was asked different questions. Young people were especially curious. High school student Kevin Miller asked, "Sam, did you really do secret operations?" Sam smiled. "Kevin, some things shouldn't be discussed. But yes, I served in different places." "What is war like?" Sam became serious. "Terrible. Something no one should experience. I fought so you wouldn't have to." This answer affected Kevin. Another day, retired teacher Margaret asked, "Sam, how did you return to normal life after war?" Sam thought. "It was difficult. PTSD, sleep problems, civilian life adaptation. But time healed, and this town gave me peace." "Do you have any regrets?" "Not about my life, but I'm sad about the friends I lost. They couldn't come home." These conversations were very challenging for Sam, but also healing. He could now talk with people he trusted about memories he hadn't shared with anyone for 25 years. A month later, a new family moved to town. Former Marine Jason Torres, his wife Maria, and their 10-year-old son, Diego. When Jason learned about Sam's past, he visited him. "Sir," said Jason, "it's an honor to meet you." Sam waved his hand. "I'm just a cafe owner, not sir or anything." "You're a legend. I've read a lot about SEAL Team 6. Sam became serious. "Jason, the past stays in the past. Now I'm just an old man making coffee." But Jason continued, "My son wants to go to military school. Could he talk with you? Sam thought. Bring him. Let's talk. Diego Torres was a smart kid. When he came to talk with Sam, he asked serious questions. Sam, what's it like being a soldier? Hard, said Sam. It requires a lot of discipline. But it's also meaningful. You serve your country, people. Are you afraid? Of course. Fear is normal. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's being able to deal with your fear. How did you deal with it? Sam smiled. I trusted my teammates, I trusted my training, and I focused on doing what was right. These conversations helped Diego a lot. Sam gave him not only military topics, but life lessons. Months passed. Sam's story spread to other towns in the region. Sometimes old veterans would come to visit him. He would share his experiences with them, give advice. One day, retired Navy SEAL Robert "Robbie" Miller visited the cafe. He had served from 2005 to 2015. Sam, said Robbie, we heard your story. You're an inspiration to us. Sam was humble. I just did my duty. But how did you become so peaceful after retirement? Many of us struggle, Sam thought. I found purpose. Serving people continued in a different way. In war, I protected people with weapons. Now I welcome them with coffee. That's very deep. Service never ends, Robbie. Only its form changes. This conversation affected Robbie greatly. He too began thinking about settling in a small town like Sam. Sam's Cafe was now not only a local gathering point, but also a veteran counseling center. Former soldiers would come here, talk with Sam, benefit from his experiences. But Sam still maintained the same humble attitude. I just make coffee, he would say. What's really important are the people who come here and chat. The townspeople began to love Sam even more. Now they saw him not just as a cafe owner, but as a guardian angel. A year later, Sam Rodriguez Day was declared in the town for his 25 years of service and the courage he showed during the robbery. Sam initially didn't want to accept this honor. I just did my job, he said. But the townspeople insisted. Margaret Thompson said, Sam, for 25 years you didn't just serve us coffee. You gave us trust, peace, belonging. You deserve this honor. On the ceremony day, people came to town from surrounding counties too. Former veterans, families who heard Sam's story, local media. But Sam remained humble. This honor isn't just mine, he said in his speech. It belongs to the townspeople who accepted me, welcomed me with love for 25 years. They are my real family. After the ceremony, Sam was asked something. If you had the chance to live your life again, what would you change, Sam thought? Nothing. Every experience made me the Sam I am today. Both the war years and the cafe years, all were necessary. What's your advice to young people? Serve, however you can, to whoever you can. Your country, your family, your neighbor. Service gives meaning to life. Sam's story began appearing in the media too. Television channels, newspapers, websites. But Sam politely declined interview requests. My story is here, in this cafe, he would say. Those who really want to know me should come, drink coffee, chat. And that's what happened. Sam's Cafe became a kind of pilgrimage site. Veterans, military families, young people who wanted to serve came here to talk with Sam. But Sam's greatest happiness was that the townspeople hadn't changed at all. For them, he was still the same Sam. Just Sam, with a slightly more interesting story. Farmer Bill Watson said, Sam was always a hero to us. Now we just know why. Retired teacher Margaret added, real heroes are like this. They look ordinary, but have extraordinary hearts. When Sam heard these words, he would smile, because he knew he had found real peace here, among these people. When closing the cafe in the evening, he would look at the Montana landscape photos on the wall. When he came here 25 years ago, he was only seeking peace. Now he had found much more: family, purpose, identity. Sam Rodriguez was no longer just a former SEAL Team 6 operator. He was Millfield's Sam, the town's protector, everyone's trusted friend. And every morning when opening his cafe, he thought, real service never ends, only its form changes. Now I ask you, have you ever met someone like this? Someone working an ordinary job, but hiding an extraordinary past? Cafe owner, waiter, shop owner. Who knows what heroic stories they carry? Share their names in the comments. Tell their stories. Because at Veterans Untold Stories, we believe that real heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they just serve coffee, smile, and become the silent guardians of society. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe. Help keep these forgotten stories alive. Until we meet in the next video. And remember, if you're ever drinking coffee in a small town and the cafe owner seems a bit too calm, maybe look twice. Maybe you're sitting across from a legend.